I love Dave Ramsey. Not in the romantic sort of way, I hope I could do better, but I love what Dave teaches. I'm passionate about the topics of finance and family and about helping others, and Dave has helped millions of people succeed financially. In my case, I was already predisposed to a lot of the things that Dave teaches, but he still helped me in a number of ways. One of those, for example, was in paying off our mortgage, rather than playing the spread and trying to invest the difference. For me, it took several years of listening to Dave regularly for that to finally sink in. But when we finally paid off the mortgage and were completely debt-free, we paid a visit to Dave and met the great man in person. So in today's Dave Deep Dive, we're going to cover the one thing that causes most people to fail financially, as well as in other areas of their lives. This particular podcast is from about 2015 or 16, but I was listening to it again yesterday on my daily walk, as I often do. So here's the great man himself.
And man, you are doing a great job. And it's obvious, Tyler, that the reason you're doing a great job is you're paying attention. So, hey, thanks for the call. You know, I get asked all the time, these reporters asking me these reporter questions. What is the number one mistake that consumers make with money? Because they always want you to say, you know, student loans or credit cards or leasing a car or whole life insurance or payday lenders or not doing a budget, whatever, right? And all of those things are mistakes, you know, but they're not the number one mistake. You know the number one mistake people have with their money? They don't bother. If you drive the car without your hands on the wheel and your eyes closed, you're going to wreck the car. Duh! You have to bother. You have to freaking pay attention. Did you know if you don't pay attention to your marriage, you're going to have a marriage problem? Did you know if you don't pay attention to your kids, they're going to be hellions and you're going to have all kinds of trouble with them? Did you know if you don't pay attention to your money, you're not going to have any? You win at things you pay attention to.
I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you'll be notified whenever I put out new content. And please, if you know others who might benefit from my content, please share my videos with them. Word of mouth is still the best way to share things and help others. You like my subscribe head?
Yeah. Smash the head.
Yes, please poke me in the eye.
Yeah.
So pay attention to your money. That last guy, he's 30-something years old. He's killing it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars saved, got his house paid for. He's killing it. He's killing it. He's in his 30s. What's the difference in him and somebody calls me up 50-something years old broke as a poker chip, man? The difference is they paid attention. Most people make enough money to do okay. They just don't pay attention.
I think Dave's right there. Most people do make enough to do okay financially, but unfortunately, they just don't take the time and pay attention. I think this is one of those pay me now or pay me later situations. Either you pay attention to your money throughout your life, or you're going to struggle financially at some point.
You have to pay attention, and you will win at the thing you pay attention to. You're successful at what you pay attention to. Your only shot at being successful at wealth, you know, your physique, at your relationships, at your career, is to pay attention to it. It's your only shot. Talking to a guy, you know, in just the last hour or so, it's worth a couple $1 million. You know, he didn't accidentally go, oh, look at that. Where'd that money come from? You know, wow, how'd that happen? No, it was an intentional act. He knows exactly where it came from. Hard work, living on less than he makes, living on a budget, investing and saving, only intentional. I'll tell you what else happens when you get to be intentional about something you want to be successful at. Whether it's your kids, your marriage, your career, your money. When you're focused on succeeding, you suddenly quit caring so much what other people think. And when you decide you're going to focus on something to that degree, you are so focused on the success of that area of your life that you suddenly lose what the Bible calls fear of man, where you're afraid of what someone thinks. Well, they'll think I'm weird. Well, so what? Have you ever been around enough people to know that almost all people are weird? Most people are weird. If you really get to know them, most people are just a little weird. So just, you know, go ahead and get used to the idea that you need to be weird, because you probably already are. And you ought to just be weird in a way that's successful. Weird because you're doing things that causes you to win. Weird because you think differently than broke people about money. Weird because you think differently than people who struggle in their marriage about marriage. Weird because your kids behave and theirs don't.
You know, it's funny. Growing up in our family, we had a saying, weird is good. And that meant a lot to me. I kind of felt like I was set apart and that we were doing things that were different than others in a good way. And it's been interesting because I've come to learn that, like Dave said, most people are kind of weird. So being weird and thinking that being weird is a good thing is not unique. It's actually sort of mainstream. So, you know, it's odd that we all want to be unique, but I think if you pay attention in society, that's a big thing. It's like everybody wants to do this thing to be unique to the point where everybody's doing it, so it's not unique anymore. Anyhow, just a very interesting observation on human behavior. But Dave is absolutely right. Don't follow the lemmings. They'll lead you right off a cliff. Pay attention and do what you think is right in all areas of your life. Be weird. Weird is good.
Success is weird, by the way. That's why we admire it. It's not a normal occurrence. It's not a random occurrence. There's a price that has to be paid for you to be successful at something. And so we all stand back and go, wow, look at that. We admire it when someone wins in an area. So that focused intensity on a particular segment of your life will cause you to move ahead in that area and other areas, and it causes you to take your eyes off of the opinion of others. You don't give a rip what they think. You just go get your business done.
I hope you've enjoyed today's Dave Deep Dive, but more importantly, I hope you found it helpful. I've got a challenge for you. Why don't you today figure out what's important to you and how you can pay attention to it and be intentional. That will lead to you succeeding in that area. Have a great day. At this point, if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you took a moment to subscribe and turn notifications on so that you'll be notified when I put out new content. I've got big plans for a lot of new content in the finance and family area. So Zave, do you think folks should subscribe to my YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, it's so worth it.
Have you ever watched any of my videos?
No.
Okay.
I
Well,
watched your generational wealth
oh,
curse.
yes. Okay. He watched the 3-generation wealth curse video because I had the whole family gathered around
Yeah.
the fireplace over Christmas.